Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Clarksville's Political Forum. I'm Van Stokes, your moderator for today's session, and on behalf of Leadership Clarksville and your Clarksville Area Chamber of Commerce, we're glad you could be with us today. Today's forum is coming to you from the Customs House Museum and Cultural Center here in Clarksville. And as always, this forum is intended to give you, the voters, an informed choice when you head to the polls to exercise your rights and responsibilities on November the 3rd. Today, we are going to have the opportunity to talk with the candidates who will be on the ballot for Circuit Court Clerk. They are, to my left, Ms. Wendy Davis, Ms. Chelsea Camp, and Ms. Tracy Knight. Now, in a moment, they will each have 2 minutes in which to present opening comments from their seats here at the table. Following their opening remarks, we will then turn to our panelists for questions to be responded to by each of our candidates. Joining us today on my right are our panelists. Once again, Mr. Jimmy Settle, Mr. Lee Irwin, and Mr. J. ALBERTIA. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to respond to each question from our panelists. Responses will be given in a rotating order. Now, at the conclusion of the questioning, each candidate will have 2 minutes in which to present closing statements. Closing statements will come in reverse order from their opening comments. Our timekeeper for this session is Mr. Phil Harpel. The Circuit Court Clerk's office is comprised of 7 primary divisions. They are administration, civil, criminal, traffic, records and archives, juvenile, and jury administration. The office of the Circuit Court Clerk employs 59 full-time employees and is responsible for coordinating and managing the general legal business, public communications, and financial operations of the courts in Montgomery County. The business services and responsibilities are defined by state statute, court rules, and county policies, and they include, but are not limited to, administrative management, technology planning and deployment, court case management, records management and preservation of court exhibits, financial management, as well as jury selection, coordination, and administration. As you can see, this position is key and instrumental in helping the court system to operate in an efficient and effective manner. Let's turn now, if we can, for our opening comments. We will hear first from Ms. Wendy Davis.
Good morning. Excuse me. My name is Wendy Davis, and I've been serving Montgomery County for 24 years, working at the Circuit Court Clerk's office. In those 24 years, I have worked in every division of the Circuit Court Clerk's office, to include all the way up to the administration. I've administered every job there is, worked in every job there is in the clerk's office. I look forward to continuing to serve Montgomery County in this position as the Circuit Court Clerk. It is a job that I absolutely love doing. I absolutely love helping the people. I don't think there's a better job, honestly, truly. The administration of that office is sometimes difficult. 59 employees is difficult. Managing all those divisions of court can be difficult, but it is something that I enjoy doing, working with my staff, making sure that we're doing things the right way, the best way, and always looking for ways to improve.
Thank you very much. Next, we will have opening comments from Ms. Chelsea Camp.
Hi and good morning. My name is Chelsea Camp. I am from Baltimore, Maryland originally, but in about 1995 I came here to Clarksville. I am a child of a military parent, so I went to Kentwood High School. I've also graduated from Austin P. I served about 12 years active duty, and my last station was Fort Campbell. I have a history of working in behavioral health. I was the NCOIC of Fort Campbell Behavioral Health prior to leaving there, where I led a staff of about 110 staff members with multidisciplinary fields, so anything from just basic everyday outpatient care to intensive outpatient care. I had about 7 clinics under me, and right now I'm currently the Director of Development for Butterfly Moments Women's Recovery Center, which is it's similar to a transitional home, but it's also a sober living program, and where we help women with drug and alcohol addictions, as well as women leaving the Tennessee Department of Corrections, get back into the community. We help give them all the skills they need in order to do that. I'm deciding to run for circuit court clerk because I believe that in order to have any good program or part of the governmental system, you have to have good leadership. And leadership comes with integrity and accessibility. And I bring that to the table, and I would like to see that within our local court clerk offices.
Thank you very much. Next, we will hear opening comments from Ms. Tracy Knight.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Provo Knight. I was born and raised here in Clarksville. I'm a practicing attorney at Batson Nolan, and I'm a regular user of our circuit court clerk's office as a practicing attorney here in Clarksville. In addition to a law degree, I also hold an MBA in management, and I've taught at the college level as an adjunct faculty member for the past 21 years. I've also worked as a legislative auditor for the state of Tennessee, comptroller of the Treasury. As the only candidate who's a user of the circuit court clerk's office, I'm in the unique position to view from the outside the issues that require change and attention within our county's office. Most people don't realize how large and impactful this office really is. The office employs 59 employees, as was stated earlier, and last fiscal year receipts of just over $11 million and approximately $6 million in expenditures to include circuit court jury, general sessions, and juvenile. This office requires someone with legal, financial, and managerial knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much to each of the candidates for your opening comments. We will now turn to our panelists for a series of questions. We'll begin with Mr. Jimmy Settle, and the first response will be provided by Ms. Davis.
Thank you, Van. Ms. Davis, for many voters out there in Montgomery County, the work of the circuit court clerk may be somewhat of a mystery, quite frankly. So I'd like to start this conversation off by getting you all to tell me, what is the fundamental role and function of this office in our daily lives?
We are the record keepers. We make sure that all of the records are stamp filed, all of the paperwork that comes through, and it's hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper a year. And then once we do all that, we get all the documents, all the case files ready for court. And then, once they're done in the courtrooms, we process all those cases again. We're constantly keeping up with the records and making sure that they're in great order.
Thank you very much. Ms. Camp, you have the next response to the same question.
I like to categorize the operation of the clerk's office similar to a tunnel. They are where you enter the court system and also where you leave. So it's where you would start any legal action, but also if you've had any type of legal action, it's where you would go and get those records. They facilitate, again, the startup, but also the processing, the storage, and ensuring even in the middle of litigation that records are kept correctly. So they are a essential function in accuracy as well as the timing and the full efficiency of the court system.
And Ms. Knight, your response.
Record keeping, certainly. Also, I would say service to the public, service to our legal community. As an attorney, we know that everything is calendar driven. There are certain dates at which things must be filed, and so this office is very important to ensure that those things are done, those dates are met, and things are done accurately. So I would say service would be the primary responsibility.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lee Irwin, you have the next question, and it will go to Ms. Chelsea Camp.
Ms. Camp, the responsibilities of the office are defined by state statute. Now, court rules and county policies, what kind of management and organizational experience do you have to bring to the office?
I bring in that I was an NCO for 10 years, so with that, it was my job to enforce standard, but also implement policies to blend when there was standard and ethic issues to make sure that ethics was best practice, but also standard was fully complied to. I have 10 years of, doing that for 10 different clinics, and currently being the Director of Development for Butterfly Moments, I deal with making sure that those standards are followed when bringing the women after they leave the court system into other places. So I have to review those and keep myself knowledgeable on any changes, as well as find out how to best navigate them on a day-to-day basis.
Ms. Knight.
As I stated earlier, I have an MBA in management. For the past 21 years, I've taught in MTSU's College of Business. The courses that I teach are often management related, principles of management, human resource management, employment law, leadership theories are a few of the ones that I've taught in recent years. As a practicing attorney, I also have legal staff who I oversee and who work for me. I worked as a legislative auditor for years and dealt with looking at any state agency which received funding, and so we looked at the management and business side of those agencies as well.
Thank you very much. Mr. J. ALBERTIA, you have the next question, and it will go to Ms. Tracy Knight for the first response. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies to Ms. Davis. I got a little ahead of myself, and I truly apologize.
That's all right. 24 years ago, I hit the ground running working with the Circuit Clerk's office, and 6 years in, I had already accomplished every job in that office, and I was promoted to Chief Deputy. For the past 18 years, I have been serving in the administrative and technology role for that staff. Again, it's something I love to do. It's something that intrigues me. We learn something new all the time, and I love working with the staff and figuring out new ways to do things. And he's got his sign up. I'm going to go. But yeah, I have the ability, and I learned from the ground up.
Thank you so much. Now that all three candidates have responded to that question, now let's go to the next question. That will come from Mr. J. ALBERTIA, and that will be responded to first by Ms. Tracy Knight.
Ms. Knight, we've had a long-term county circuit court clerk that's had that position for a long time. With that, that stamp of that person has been on that office for quite a long time. What would you see to make that county court clerk position yours if you get the job?
I think definitely there would be some changes with regard to day-to-day management of the office. As part of my campaign, I have reached out to members of the bar, their staff, members of the public, to get ideas of what changes and issues they see, what might be necessary. And I think there's some human resource issues within the office that need to be addressed. I think there has been management time and county management time and dollars spent on things that, that should not be happening. The measuring of women's heel height, skirt length, managerial time determining what foods can be eaten at a desk or workplace. I think we can better use our management time and county dollars in a different way, and I think maybe it takes someone from the outside.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, you have the next response.
Definitely, I've talked to staff and counsel attorneys outside asking what better ways we can serve the public and to make it our own. There are tons of things that we want to work on and improve on and work towards the future to make it a better place for everyone.
Ms. Camp.
I would like to go in there and just start off humanizing that office so people understand the connection of that office to the community. Also, increasing some of the outreach so that our public and our community are educated on the positives, and I hope to make them overshadow the negative cloud that is over the courthouse, and just bring to light and incentivize, the community relations from the staff so people understand they're working with people for the people, and also just bring in some healthy management, and also, like I said, just humanize the office so people understand that this is a public office it's headed by a public servant, and it's for the people, but to give the people reason to come in and also educate them on why they should and what we have to offer them.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to Mr. Jimmy Settle now if we can, and your question will go for the first response from Ms. Wendy Davis.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, with growth and growing caseload dockets in the courts, you know, we're getting new judges, and now there's talk, I understand, of maybe another new circuit court judge division being added. What will that mean for the circuit court clerk's office, and how do you respond to that in your office?
Anytime we get a new judge, it requires 2 employees to manage that judge's docket, the prepping, the processing. It requires 2 clerks. There's a lot involved with that, the calendaring and all of those things. I mean, we work with those every time we get a new judge, and we do the best we can with what we've got, but we definitely get out there and, you know, get in there and work with the people that we have as much as we can, but we definitely usually have to have a body or 2 to manage that court.
Ms. Camp.
In my experience, when you bring a new staff member in the form of leadership, it's replicating the standard of policy that's already there. So ensuring that there's competency in what is expected, as well as understanding of how to cater it specifically to that population, but just enforcing the policy, kind of cross-checking it to ensure that it covers any specifics, but being sure that the people that you put in that position are competent, are personable, because new leadership brings new personality, and you want to make sure that things are cohesive and working well for the benefit of the entire office as well as the city and the county.
Thank you. And Ms. Knight.
Montgomery County has been experiencing growing pains for the past 20 years, and I think the circuit court clerk's office is really no different. And with growth and with the addition of more judges and an increase in our judicial system, I think there's an increased need for better technology. There's an increased need for better legal training. There's an increased need for better coordination between the circuit court side of things and the chancery side of things. People who are outside the legal community may not understand, but there are 2 sections that operate within our courthouse. We have the chancery side and we have the circuit court clerk side, or the circuit court side. The circuit court side is led by the circuit court clerk's office, and chancery by clerk and master. Those 2 have not worked well together and haven't really coordinated with each other with regard to cases and sharing of cases, and that is an important factor that needs to be dealt with.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Mr. Lee Irwin now if we can. Your question will go to Ms. Chelsea Camp.
Ms. Camp, what do you think can be done, if needed, to improve the process, or shall we say the perception, of jury duty and the dreaded summons for potential jurors?
I think it just needs some education so people understand the benefit that it serves to be the person who is picked, because you bring in perspective. We do want to ensure fairness and impartiality. So in order to do that, you have to have a varying perception and perspective in that group, but you also have to make sure that you can trust the person who's overseeing that appointment to make sure that they are following standard and it is to a peer or peer group of those who will be being judged.
Thank you. Ms. Knight.
Frankly, I'm not really sure that there's a lot that can be done to increase the perception or better the perception of jury duty for a lot of people. I think maybe better organization would be something. I've spoken to people who were called to jury duty here recently, and one of them had twin girls who she was nursing and had to appear anyway to fill out a form to get that checked off so that she could then come back a year later. So I think maybe organization, so that could be dealt with without having to have a person come in to do that sort of thing. So I would suggest that.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Davis.
Jury duty is interesting. You get a handful of people that want to serve desperately, and then a handful of people that don't want to serve for multiple reasons. During COVID, it's been definitely difficult to get people that want to come into the courts to serve. But we've made every accommodation, working with our judges, making sure that the people get excused that don't need to be in the courtrooms. passing the message that, it's a civic duty, come out and do it. They don't make much. They make $11 a day. Some people find that pay low, but it's what the law says. But I mean, just in general, I think we do a great job with it. It's all randomized. We get the jury will. It's all imported. Those lists are ran from the system. We're not selecting anybody personally.
Certainly concur that it's important, and it is a civic duty, and it is an opportunity for citizens to serve this community. Let's go to Jay, Albertia now, if we can, and your question will go to Tracy Knight. Ms. Knight.
Ms. Knight, I'm going to take us off the path a little bit. I think one time that when we look at candidates, we want to know about them personally more than anything else. So can you tell us what you are most proudest of any of your accomplishments?
I would say it's a tie. I'm proud of my work history and education. I'm also proud of my family and children. I have 2 sons. My oldest is a second-year pharmacy student at the University of Tennessee. My youngest is a freshman at the University of Tennessee. I went to law school late in life. I took the LSAT at age 38. So I went to law school with, I would drop kids off at school and then head to law school and take my classes, and sometimes they would come with me if they were out of class. And so, I often say that I did not graduate. The 3 of us graduated from law school together. And so I'm proud of all of those things.
Thank you very much. Ms. Davis.
I am definitely proud of myself. I worked hard from the day I started, 24 years old, working at the clerk's office, to get where I am today. As a single mother, I did that, and I'm very proud of that fact. I'm very proud of my boys. I worked hard, and this is the result of working hard.
And Ms. Camp.
Without a doubt, I'm going to tell you I am most excited about my military service. It has groomed me to be the leader and the woman who I am today. I joined the military when I was 20 years old and I had 2 babies. I had no clue what I was going to do, but every day I got told to be in the same place, in the same uniform, and be 10 minutes early. That has made me excel in every room that I've been in, and it has really groomed my mind of service, understanding that it's an honor to serve. Some people say, you have to just go do it. But no, it's an honor to be the one giving the service because you're empowering someone else to serve later. So that is without a doubt my best.
Thank you very much. Let's go through another round of questions, if we can, from our panelists. Let's go back to Mr. Jimmy Settle, and your question will go to Ms. Wendy Davis.
Ms. Davis, I cover Montgomery County government for the local newspaper, and budgets are a big issue every year in Montgomery County government, and the Circuit Court Clerk's office is always one part of that conversation. What is your philosophy on budgeting for your department to help the county streamline and meet its overall budgeting goals?
Well, as far as our department, the only time that we've gone before the budget committee is if we had some capital outlay requests. There's been very minimal of those. We've been trying to reduce the budget and stay within the guidelines and do our very best to do that all the time.
Ms. Camp?
My philosophy on budgeting is, adhere to standard, but also take care of people and processes. So if you have to spend money to make sure things are effective and more efficient, then you do that to maintain service, but you also make sure you're taking care of your staff and where you are because you want to do things comfortably, but also in the most effective way. Also being aware of overusage and things that are going untouched because you can definitely realign things to take care of rather than expanding.
And Ms. Knight?
Budgets are very important. I think we're going to see in the next few years a change with regard to the budget, and I think we're going to see some necessary technology that is probably going to offset some other areas seen within the budget. A lot of counties and some states are moving toward electronic filing. Davidson County is moving toward electronic filing in their circuit court clerk's office. And so I think that will be something that we'll need to address with regard to budget. I think looking at the overall budget and eliminating unnecessary things. It's my understanding that the clerk's office currently has a room that is just filled with office equipment to utilize what was in a budget so they don't lose it for the next year. And I think maybe if we can better utilize that and look forward to what we're going to need in coming years, that would be more important.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Mr. Lee Irwin now, if we can. And Mr. Irwin, your question will go to Ms. Chelsea Camp for the first response.
Ms. Camp, how do you plan for your office to be completely transparent with the citizens of Montgomery County?
I believe transparency just starts in education, educating them on the roles, the services, and the expectation, by also having an open door policy. Like, customer service is so important, so empowering people to come and tell how their interaction was, whether that's giving a pat on the back or saying, hey, I didn't appreciate this and this is what could have been done better. Having an open here would empower the whole system to be better, to be able to adapt to those who need more accessibility, and also strengthen those areas that are doing well, or applaud those areas, incentivize doing well, doing great service, being prompt and punctual.
Thank you very much. Ms. Knight?
I would say listening to the public and seeking the opinion of the public. That means people who come to the windows of the Circuit Court Clerk office, those who are just members of the general public, as well as those who are members of the bar and support staff, seeking ideas from them. As Chelsea said, an open door policy, always listening, always asking questions, always seeking to improve and change.
Ms. Davis?
I completely agree with Ms. Camp. I have an open door policy. I believe everything she sat there and said. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our final question from our panelists, from Mr. J. ALBERTIA, and it will go to Ms. Tracy Knight.
Ms. Knight, I think more than anything else, working with community is very important. Working and trying to do your job responsibilities are very important, but it all goes back to leadership style and working with your staff to create everything that needs to be done. Tell me about your leadership style.
My leadership style, I would say, would be one of coaching. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the various leadership styles, but it seems to me that the current leadership style in the office is one of autocratic. And I think that is not effective to an office such as this. I'm a person who likes to lift each other up. I want the employees of the office to do the best they can. I want them to feel like they've done a good job. I want them to be happy. I want them to be trained, and I want them to feel like they have a purpose and a place, not only within the office, but in this community. And I think the only way to do that is to have a coaching leadership style. I think the leadership style that is currently in effect is more effective if you have unskilled labor. That's not what we have in the Circuit Court Clerk's office, and I think they need a change.
Thank you very much. Ms. Wendy Davis.
I do believe in the coaching style. I mean, I like to educate the supervisors about the job responsibilities and what I expect from them, and what they should expect from their employees when they come into the office. Working with that many people sometimes can be difficult. You're not going to make everybody happy on the same day. It's not going to happen. But we work hard to make sure that they feel that they get that pat on the back and they know that they're important to us at all times. Every time he pulls that sign up, I'm like, what? But yeah, it's important to me that they know that they're doing a good job. If they're not, it's important that they know what they're doing wrong so we can work on that and help them excel in that area.
And Ms. Camp.
My leadership style is just adaptable. I think in being a leadership, it's important to do the beginning of that word, which is lead. So to be well informed on issues as well as personnel, knowing the people in that office, but also being educated so that in the event that any level of that staff needs more information or needs reinforcement or just support, that I would be the one they would come to, but also being personable so that there are no barriers between the communication. And my leadership would also include just similar to how the Army teaches us, you crawl, walk, run, so never being afraid to simplify things, never speaking to someone in a way that they are uneducated or not deserving of a second chance. Everyone doesn't learn on the first go. So teaching that way, first we're going to crawl, then we're going to walk, and then we're going to run. And anytime you need to step back into one of those times, I'll be there to support you in a positive way.
Thank you very much. That concludes the questions from our panelists. Gentlemen, thank you all very much for those keen questions. We go now to our closing comments that will be provided in the reverse order from the opening remarks. Each candidate will have 2 minutes in which to present closing comments now. We will hear first from Ms. Tracy Knight.
As I stated earlier, during my campaign, I've reached out to members of the local bar, their support staff, former employees of the clerk's office, and members of the public to determine what areas of change are necessary within the circuit court clerk's office. The overall culture of the office is best described as dysfunctional. The employees don't seem happy with their jobs, and it's evident with the high turnover rate that is seen within that office. There's a marked lack of training, and specifically legal terminology and procedural training. The employees are not given the skills and opportunities that they need to succeed. Instead, they're often set up to fail, and then they're reprimanded or fired if they do so. The lack of training leads to inconsistency in work product. Local attorneys have indicated to me that there's a lack of understanding of legal procedure and terminology, and the deputy clerks just haven't received the training that they deserve. Interestingly, for an office that exists because of the court system, there's a greater focus on the office dress code than the Tennessee code. It's been outlined to me that county management time has been spent on trivial matters, such as determining what foods can be eaten at workstations, skirt length, shoe heel height, and petty reprimands and write-ups are given to employees. Attorneys in law offices often get pushback from the clerks when they question things. We're often told that's how we've always done it. The "that's how we've always done it" mentality just isn't effective in serving Montgomery County.
Thank you very much. Next, we will hear closing comments from Ms. Chelsea Camp.
I just come here today as an average and everyday member of society. I have used the court clerk's offices as a professional with Butterfly Moments and helping the women. I've also used it just as a volunteer, as I am a part of the Montgomery County Veterans Treatment Corps Mentors Service. I also have used it as a person who dealt with things in my childhood, but also in my adulthood as I learned to navigate. I'm not perfect and I don't expect perfection, but I do expect efficiency and transparency and accessibility. I don't believe that we currently have that, and I want to give that. I spent my years serving in the military, but I made it my business once my service was over to continue to serve the community. I currently volunteer with children and adults, both at risk, and I understand the importance of knocking down barriers and making sure that offices or services are adaptable and willing to help those who they serve. And I bring that to the table just with a new perspective and leading with integrity. So I look forward to being your future circuit court clerk.
Thank you very much. And then we will hear our final closing comments from Ms. Wendy Davis.
Again, I have been serving Montgomery County through the Circuit Court Clerk's Office for 24 years. I absolutely love the opportunity to teach, to help anyone that comes to our office that needs assistance, whether it's, John Doe or attorneys and their staff. It's my goal to make sure that they're happy when they leave. And I want all of the employees to feel the same way and to react the same way. We have, times that we have an issue or two, but we work through those and we make sure that our communication with all of the people that come to our court is the best it can be. But we work every day to make sure it's better and transparent. It's important to us that the public that we serve is comfortable. A lot of people aren't comfortable coming to the courthouse in general. I've said before that, the only happy people that come there are people that are the children that are getting adopted. Everyone else that's coming, whether it's jury duty or traffic case or criminal case, divorce, whatever, they're not normally happy about what they're doing. But it's our job to serve them all equally, fairly, and with a smile on our face, and that's what I believe.
Thank you very much for those closing comments, and I want to say thank you to each of our candidates for sharing their time and their thoughts with us today, and for being willing to serve our community as an elected official, in this case as the circuit court clerk. I think you can hear by the responses to the questions from our panelists that this position is key and instrumental in helping our court system to operate in an efficient and an effective manner. So thank you very much to each of our candidates for being willing to serve in this position. I want to remind those of you who are watching that early voting will take place starting Wednesday, October the 14th, and that will run through Thursday, October the 29th. Now, you can cast your early vote at the Election Commission office located at 350 Pageant Lane, Suite 404. Also want to say thank you to our panelists, Mr. Jimmy Settle, Mr. Lee Irwin, and Mr. Jay Albertia. Once again, gentlemen, thank you for your insight into these questions. And thanks also to our timekeeper, Mr. Phil Harpel, for serving as, once again, our timekeeper for this session. Thanks also to the staff here at the Customs House Museum and Cultural Center for hosting today's forum. And thanks also to Leadership Clarksville and your Clarksville Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as Rick Goodwin Productions for making this forum possible. Remember, November the 3rd, your opportunity to exercise your right and fulfill your responsibility. Until next time, I'm Van Stokes saying thank you for watching.